Coach, you know it's not the result you're looking for. Overall, your thoughts on the game as a whole tonight?
You know, I'll take a lot of responsibility for the loss tonight. I thought I had our team prepared for the length of their zone. We worked on that quite a bit leading up to this game, and I don't think I had them prepared enough. You know, shots. We got shots. I think we're a better finishing team than what we showed tonight. So I think that was a little bit the difference in the ball game is the length of their 2-3 zone. Obviously, they've got some size to them. Things weren't as open as we are used to them being in the perimeter and on the inside. And then when we got open looks, we didn't finish as well as we had been finishing. You know, and this is unfortunately not the game that you can't not finish well. You're going to have the result that we had. Still think we did some good things in the game. You know, we didn't quit. I felt like there were some open looks that we did finish. I felt like our defense again was well. I should have made a few adjustments on defense too, that I'll take full credit for. But I did like our effort on the defensive end. I think ultimately it boiled down to we didn't have enough production on the offensive end tonight. And that was the difference in the game. And even free throws. Normally we're a pretty high free throw shooting percentage team. And to start the game out of the gates, I think we missed 4. And these are just, like I said earlier, these are not the games that you can have shortcomings like that.
You know, this was the matchup program-wise. Wayne County's been here every year. You guys are making your first appearance since 1999, and yet you find yourselves in the dogfight back and forth, shots late to tie or take the lead. What does that say about this group and the fact that hadn't been here but still we're in there with a team that's thought of as a perennial powerhouse?
You know, the turnaround that these seniors have seen through the tenure of their career, I think is quite remarkable. You know, that's the first thing I said when I went to the locker room is, this is tough. And no matter, I know we had talked about this, no matter how great your season is, if you're not in that championship game and you're not winning that championship game, you're having an exponentially tough loss. And that's what we just had. I tell them, what an incredible season that these seniors have had. I mean, and the turnaround from their seasons, their freshman to sophomore year, and then, you know, we won double-digit games last year, but to see what they accomplished this season, I think is remarkable. And I think that's a testament to them, number one, for all the hard work that they've put in, but number two, the ability to change your mindset and to shift from what, you know, where they were at to the expectation is to win. And I think that's the thing I'm most proudest of this season is I think we went into every game this season expecting to win. And I think that's partly what got us here. There again, it's unfortunate and this is a disappointment. I mean, this is a huge disappointment. I take this very personally. You know, there's so many things I could have done. I know, I mean, look at them. They're upset. It hurts. It hurts. I hurt for them, but I even hurt for the community because I know the community showed up. They backed us. They supported us. But I don't want that to shadow the wonderful season that this team has had.
Just one question that's been on my mind the whole game, Coach, and I saw you guys walk onto the court today. Just kind of walk me through what was going through your mind in that moment, just knowing the magnitude of the game that you guys were getting ready to play in, and all three of you all can answer, but just what was your initial thoughts just when you initially stepped onto the court today?
You know, I felt like we were ready. I felt like we were prepared and confident, and I felt like that game was ours to win. You know, I told them before, if you give 110% every possession, all 32 minutes, and you execute, everything else will take care of itself at the end of the game. You know, I talk a lot about we can't control the uncontrollables. I'm not going to sit here and say there were some uncontrollables in that game that I felt like were momentum shifts and just things where we kind of felt like was out of our hands. And That's hard in a game like this when it's hard to judge how to play sometimes. But that's where I always tell them that's where we can't control the uncontrollables. The only thing we can control is us. And I felt like that as the game progressed, we did a good job of that. You know, there were some times when I could not even give an answer as to why this or that. And so, but we stayed level-headed. It's a big moment, you know, and I, even though they've never been in this moment before, I felt like, let's face it, okay, we're in a district in a region where there's big moments a lot. There's tough competition. I mean, our district championship, our region, I mean, semifinal and championship, and then, so, I mean, we've had big games lately, so I felt like that had tested us, and we were ready. At the end of the game, I mean, it's just one of those things where at the end of the game, I felt like we gave it our all, and we came up short. And then that happens, and ultimately, like I said, if we hadn't been state champion, it was going to happen. Regardless, I'm extremely proud of them. I couldn't have asked for a better group of kids to be with every single day. I look forward to every practice, everything we do together. They're great kids on and off the floor. They're good to each other. They don't, you know, they don't argue. They want the best for each other. They laugh. And that is something to be said in this day and age. To have a team that is there for each other, and as a coach, no matter what. I mean, we had some tough losses, some tough games, and the next day, I still looked forward to being in the gym with them. And that's just a testament to the awesome human beings that they are.
Coach, what's the future of Gordonsville next year? What does it look like?
That's really not on my mind right now. I mean, that's a tough question at this time.
You have a very talented team.
Thank you.
It just looks like it's going to continue.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a big loss. Losing 4 seniors is that I depend on heavily. That's going to be that's hard. You take that leadership, you take that experience. You know, and I think their experience and their leadership is what helped us turn this program around. And so it's not just me. I think they were a huge part of that too. And but you know, every year's going to be, it's like every game is different. Every year's going to be different. And then this is done, and we've got to refocus. You know, we do have young players on the bench. We do have players that have experience from this year that are young, that were on the court. So, you know, we'll have to build on that. I've got some players coming up that had a little bit of experience this year, and then I've got some coming from middle school, but that's not been my focus. This has been my focus, and soon enough we'll get to that. But I do think this year was a huge turnaround for the program, and I hope that we continue to keep it moving in that direction with this momentum from this group.
Coach, you talked about, you know, the feeling and how bad this hurts, considering the kind of transformation that's happened within this program. Is that potentially a good thing, that this is not a satisfactory result despite the history that was made, and that's continuing to move things in the right direction?
I think so. I think, you know, when you have a record like we have this year and you accomplish what we've accomplished, I think that becomes the standard, you know, and that's my expectation, and I think that should be everyone's. Do I know we will look like a totally different team next year when you lose the personnel that we have? I do. But there again, you have to play to your strengths. And so I think our strengths will be different next year. But I do think this group and this team helped set the standard. And I think that's kind of what we need to catapult us into that. Being known, I know we're known for some other sports in Gordonsville, obviously, but hopefully this will start to make a shift to where girls basketball can get back on the map there too.
That leads into what I was going to ask Molly.
the softball program's won multiple state titles, the volleyball program just finished state runner-up, and how does it, I guess, feel to you to add basketball to that state caliber program at Gordonsville?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's obviously a great accomplishment, because sports are, you know, I feel like we're taken very seriously at Gordonsville. You know, every team works, and every team's expectation is to get to the state tournament, to win, you know. I know all of us came into the season knowing that we could be here, and we could, you know, go on to even win, and so, I know none of us were satisfied with just, you know, losing this game, just coming here, but what we were able to accomplish, you know, in our season, the turnaround that we did have, I think it's gonna make a shift in Gordonsville basketball girls.
Carrying on kind of the same thing.